Alright guys, I just did a pop through with Ruble, just to see what the motion would look like when he turns and walks towards the ropes. And you notice that I didn't make him rise up and down, and it looks like he's just sliding along. And I don't like that too much. And the way that he is now with his legs, it's not really possible to animate these legs, because I used aluminum wire, which I hadn't done anything to make any feet. There's no bones or hardened areas with like epoxy putty or Sculpey. It wasn't really meant for walking. So what I did is I threw together this one, it's like a model mover, I guess you can call it. It's just a surface gauge, and what I've done is I've modified it so that I added this aluminum piece which has a threaded hole here in this aluminum block, and you can put this rod which has a ball and socket part and like a fork, and this fork I can stick into Ruble's body and attach him to this rig. I found that with clay, it's really hard. Like you can't just take a rod and stick it through his body because he'll just kind of twist off of it. So I added these little prongs like a fork, and I only used this once before, so and I didn't use it on the surface gauge. And if I press on it, you can see that um, it can support a lot of weight, believe it or not, because the surface gauge is so heavy. So it's no problem animating Ruble with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wrench and I'll loosen it during the shot, and I can make his body rise up and down. I'm just going to take this off first. So you can see, I can move it up and down however I want, and then slide it across the set to make him walk towards those ropes. The only issue I have to worry about is the shadow of our surface gauge point being in the shot, but since it's going to be angled kind of like this, I don't think you're going to notice it. So we'll see what happens. I still have a lot of work to do. I don't know if I'm going to animate the shot tonight. I'm probably going to set it up, do another pop through, and maybe animate this scene tomorrow, because it's going to require me to, once I stick him to this, a lot of sculpting of the clay, maybe moving his legs in a down position and so forth. And I might have to do take some photographs of the shot before this is in place, so that if I have to remove this rig, what I can do is just, I'll have images that I can cover this with as a layer in Photoshop. But anyway, if you guys want to make something like this, it's not too difficult. Just a surface gauge, an aluminum block with some holes drilled and some tapped holes, and just another rod. This is just brass tubing and some steel rods just soldered together. A ball and socket joint. This is a little bit hard to make, but you don't even really need that part of it. So, alright, so there you have it, guys. I'm gonna get to work on this and see how much I can get done. Alright, well, I'm setting up my rig, and I was gonna attach Ruble here on that fork, and the ball broke off from the rod, so I need to sand this rod and then try and clean out that ball on the inside the best I can, and then attach it so that I can complete the rig. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so here is the final rig using the surface gauge, and you can see that Ruble is actually suspended off the ground by about maybe, I don't know, a quarter or half an inch. And we have a counterbalance, which is just a block of clay, and so Ruble can sort of slide around. I can also move him up and down on this, and so, you know, it seems like a crazy rig, but I think it'll do the trick. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that happens with stop motion. You know, you have to just kind of use your mind, figure out what the best solution to a problem might be, and just do it and see how it works out. And if it doesn't work, try something else. You know, like this part here broke on me before, so I had to resolder the ball to this rod. You know, I had to disassemble Ruble's legs because of the weight of the clay. I had to smooth out everything that I took apart so it doesn't look weird when he's walking away from the camera. I had to figure out how to hide the rig, and I figured that when he's walking away from the camera, I'll swing this towards the camera, and so all of this stuff that's stuck in his body will be, you know, you won't see it because you'll be seeing his butt, basically. And also you'll be seeing a rod from behind him, but I can remove that in Photoshop later and hide this rig. So anyway, I'm gonna animate this tomorrow. I'll have to probably, you know, go over his body and clean up any imperfections, any little dings, any, you know, dents and stuff. Just make him look nice, and so here's where the camera will be again, you know, filming him like this, somewhere in this angle. And then he'll say his line. He'll then turn around, walk towards the ropes, and, you know, this is the way we'll do it, just by sliding the rig. So, anyway, tomorrow's another day. It's been a long day for me, and I don't know, I think this is going to work pretty good, actually. So, that's, I guess, it for today, guys.